Hey guys, so the last couple of weeks have been crazy, like crazy. You're gonna see dogs behind me because I'm sitting on the floor. This is just the easiest spot for me to just sit down and start vlogging, so sorry, bear with me. You're gonna see Daisy and Delta and all of these ridiculous sheets up there for them so they can be comfy. I just kind of, bless you. I wanted to vlog today because I'm finally feeling up to it, first of all, and have a little bit of finally some information that I can at least share with you. So the last time I updated the vlog was when I had taken my test, found out that the medication failed, it was a failed cycle, and we didn't conceive. So that was the last vlog, and that was weeks ago. And since then, if you guys follow my Instagram, you'll be a little bit more up to date with what's happening. But since then, I caught COVID, and I needed to quarantine and all that fun stuff. Luckily, Manny didn't catch it, but I think Tristan brought it home from school. So I caught COVID. I was, dealing with it. It was fine. I didn't have like the bad chest symptoms, but I did have like a lot of like the head symptoms. Like I was dizzy all the time. I felt like this weird like burning in my nose, like I had sucked up water. And then the week after I caught COVID, I took an at-home test and I vlogged it. So here's that. Today we're taking a different type of test. This is a COVID at-home test. I tested positive last Saturday, so it's been officially 1 week since I tested positive, and I'm feeling a lot better. I feel like I'm over it. I feel like I'm done, but I just want to see. So I'm gonna follow the instructions and steps to the T, and the first step is to wash my hands for 20 seconds. So that's what I'm gonna do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so per the at-home test, I'm testing negative. Whoop, whoop. Now I am gonna go to try to do a test at Walgreens because theirs are obviously a lot more reliable, but that's a good sign. That's a good sign. As you see, it's negative, so I got really excited and I was like, oh my gosh, finally it's out of my system and I'm feeling better, so I'm gonna start doing stuff. And I started doing stuff. I started cleaning the house, I started working out in the garage with Manny, moving boxes, lifting up things. Like, I did a lot. And looking back, that was really dumb because I definitely shouldn't have done that. That same day that I started doing a bunch of stuff, I almost passed out. My vision got like blurry and like black. My ears went muffled. I couldn't hear anything. I like plugged my ears because it made me feel a little bit more calm because it was a controlled muffle and not just like my head was muffling. And I really genuinely thought I was gonna pass out, but I was able to like steady my breathing, calm down, and like get myself back to an okay place. But I really thought I was gonna pass out. So that happened 2 weeks ago now. So from there, I started having chest pains, and I didn't know what the chest pains were. I just knew that they were in the center of my chest, and I started having really bad chest pains, like somebody was just pushing on my chest. So I ended up going to GuideWell, which is like an emergency doctor, and they took an EKG of my heart. They put some like paste over my heart, which is supposed to like help it somehow, I don't know. And they took a bunch of blood work, and they said that I had an abnormal EKG. And the doctor said because I had experienced almost passing out with those kind of symptoms, and I have an abnormal EKG that happened Saturday. I went Monday to GuideWell. He told me that I needed to go to the hospital immediately. So they actually called an ambulance and transported me straight from GuideWell to the hospital, which was crazy. Looking back, like so much has happened in 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't even know. So much has happened though, and it's just like, whew. But anyway, so I was transported to the hospital. They had called over and arranged for me to already have a room, given the EKG results and everything that they were seeing in GuideWell. So they had already prepared a room for me whenever I got there. So they wheeled me straight from the ambulance to my room, thankfully. I didn't have to go through like the waiting room or anything like that. I only had to stay one night, thank God. Manny couldn't stay with me. They actually put me on an oncology floor. So I had to do a rapid test. I forgot that. I had to do a rapid test at GuideWell to show that I didn't have COVID, and that actually came back negative. And that was Monday when I was transported over to the hospital. So Manny couldn't stay with me, and that was scary because I've never stayed in a hospital, let alone by myself. And well, I stayed with Tristan, but Manny was there, and that was having a baby, but that was completely different circumstances. This was like health-wise. So yeah, it was really scary. And they were able to give me like an anxiety thing to like help me go to sleep, which really helped because I don't think I would have slept without it. So they did another EKG while I was there the first night. Well, that night they did an EKG. They drew a bunch of blood. My poor arms are like, do you see this? They are like so bruised, and they drew blood over here like I've been a pincushion. So they did an EKG. That one came back normal after, but then they also wanted to schedule a CAT scan of my heart to see all of the inner workings of everything. So they scheduled the CAT scan, and I had that done the next day, but it's a hospital and they're overwhelmed, so I had to wait hours and hours and hours. So I got breakfast there, I got lunch there, and then by dinner time, the doctor had seen my CAT scan results, and they were like, sorry, Tristan came in. Anyway, so they did a CAT scan the next morning. They looked at everything in my heart, and they said, your heart looks good. They took blood. That's what this one's from. They had to actually stick me again. This one was from my IV. So they took blood, and they did the CAT scan, and they were like, your heart looks fine, you know, your EKG checked out fine, you're fine. So they discharged me, and I was able to go home on Tuesday. So from Tuesday to Friday, I had met with my doctor that day, Tuesday, whenever I got out, and I was, you know, giving her the rundown. I gave her the discharge papers, I gave her everything, and I just said, hey, here is everything I have, help me. Like, what is this? What can I do? Help. She said that one of my blood tests were elevated, and she recommended I go see a lung specialist, and so she referred me to them, and so I'm waiting for an appointment with them. But then she put me on a steroid for my lungs because she was really focused on my lungs. She thought it was going to be my lungs. She's like, just take your medication and I'll check with you on Friday. So that was Tuesday that I saw her, and she made a follow-up appointment for Friday. So I was like, okay, I'll take steroids, whatever, and I'll follow up on Friday. Well, Friday comes and the steroids weren't helping at all. I still felt like that pressure in my chest. I still felt that tightness in my chest, and it just wasn't going away. So I told her all of that, and she said, well, just keep doing the steroids, and if anything, if it gets worse over the weekend, go back to Guidewell. I said, okay. So what she had told me is that I had a lung clot, and maybe she misspoke, maybe it was misinformation, I don't know, but she told me that I had a lung clot. And when she told me that, of course, I didn't know what that was, so I started Googling, and a lung clot is a blood clot in your lungs, and it can go straight to your head or it can go straight to your heart, and of course that freaked me out. It made me start like, oh my gosh, kind of panicking. So I was like, I don't feel well, something is not right, like I know my body, something is not right, and I'm telling this all to Manny, and he's like, okay, well, if you want, we can go back to Guidewell. So that was Friday, like evening. So Saturday, whenever I woke up, I was still feeling like that weird heaviness in my chest and just that like overwhelming, like something is not right. So he went ahead and took me back to Guidewell. Back at Guidewell now, so like a week later almost. They drew more blood. That's why this one is nice and fresh again. They drew more blood, and they did another EKG, and they did a chest x-ray, and the chest x-ray looks good. The blood work looked good, so I have no lung clot or no blood clot, but the one thing that they told me is that my EKG came back abnormal again. So they recommended I go see a cardiologist. It's called a T wave is off, like an abnormal T wave. I don't really know what any of it means, but they said I need to follow up with a cardiologist. So that was Saturday. Today is, what is today? Tuesday, I think. Or is it Monday? I think it's Monday. Yeah, today's Monday. I saw them on Saturday over at Guidewell, and I have a specialist appointment already. So they were able to actually fax over a referral to the cardiologist that they referred me to, and they were able to schedule me something for tomorrow. I'm so excited. I'm still having chest pains, but it's not, Delilah, it's not like a chest pain pressure. It's more like a chest pain, like I feel like I've been working out. Like I feel like sore everywhere. I feel sore down my underarms. I feel sore over my shoulders. I feel sore in my chest. Delilah, like I just feel so incredibly sore, and I don't know why. I didn't feel like this at all during COVID, but I don't know. My doctor said that she's seeing this kind of symptom case happen with COVID, so it might just be COVID leaving my body. I don't know. I tested positive on January 22nd, and then I tested positive again on January 30th through the PCR test. But with the rapid test on Monday, which would have been February 1st, I tested negative. I don't know if it's still like lingering in my system or in my chest or something, I don't know, but I do know that my abnormal EKG is still present, so I have to figure out what's going on with my heart, and I have to get that fixed and figured out because that's important. But I'm really, really thankful. I have an appointment, like I said, tomorrow with the cardiologist, and I have a follow-up with my primary doctor tomorrow so that I can try to just figure it out, figure out what's going on, figure out what can help. I was prescribed a bunch of medication that didn't actually end up helping anything, and like I'm still having like these really weird pains, and like when I talk too much, like I feel like I get winded easily. So yeah, it was just, it's been a lot. 2022 has started off so crazy and so rocky, and I am just like, I'm so ready to go back to my normal life, but this makes me really appreciate like everything that I already have. Not that I wasn't appreciative before, but just like you really don't understand what you have until you don't have it anymore. Like the freedom and the liberty to just go somewhere and just do something and just be with your kid and hug your kid. Like Tristan and I were quarantined from each other, and we did what was called like toe touch, because we had to stay distant, where he'd touch my toe and I'd touch his toe, and toe touch, and that's how we like hugged for a while. But it's been really, really crazy, and I'm finally at a point mentally where I feel like I'm stable, like I'm not anxiety ridden, I don't feel like I'm dying, I feel like I'm okay. Before, I was a freaking nervous wreck. Like I was a ball of nerves. I was shaking every night. I mean, I was not doing good, but I feel like I am only like that because of the lack of knowledge that I have, because now that I have kind of like a path, like, okay, it seems like it's COVID leaving my body. COVID has really weird symptoms. Okay, your heart is good, but you have an abnormal T wave, so let's get that figured out. So tomorrow I'm gonna do like a stress test. They're gonna do like a bunch of tests on me, and I think it brings me comfort in knowing like I'm just that much closer to figuring out like what the heck is going on, so that I can just resume normal life. You know what I mean? Like just get out of bed and go to work, like have a work day, help my kid with homework, cook dinner, clean my house, because I have been exhausted. That's part of the reason that I'm vlogging on the floor right now, because I am just, my house is a mess, and it's just, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but I'm hoping that soon we'll have the answers that we need, we'll have the medication that we need, the treatment, whatever the case may be, so that I can finally get back to normal, finally. Hopefully. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is obviously with everything that's been going on with my health, my fertility journey is on pause. Clearly, obviously, I'm not going to be seeking any kind of treatment or any kind of further anything. I'm not going to be seeking anything. No medications, no treatment, no plans as of right now. Like I want to get 110% better before trying to go any further. So the latest update though, because I did kind of leave you guys off on a cliffhanger, I apologize for that, but the latest is I am actually covered under my insurance, thank God. It was an office error. They were looking under the wrong name or something. I don't know. Something happened, and it was on them. It was their error. They messed up. But I am covered under my insurance. I don't have to find a new provider, thank God. And I actually had another consultation with Maven again, and that was their endocrinologist. And she just kind of like talked to me about like the big grand scope of everything, and just like how we've been on it for 2 years and everything that we've tried, and HSG was clear and everything, like, you know, the whole history. You guys can see it in all my vlogs, but everything that we've led up to this point. And she's like, well, have they done a laparoscopy or hysteroscopy, I think is what it's called, basically where they go in surgically to like see what's going on in there and like look at everything. They're looking for like scar tissue or anything like that. And I was like, no, we've never done anything like that. She's like, well, why not? She's like, for a patient, if you were my patient, you've tried for 2 years, you're 30. She's like, you should have had a baby by now. She's like, so what I would recommend is going back to your doctor and kind of saying, hey, I would really appreciate if you considered these options. So I did, and he agreed. And, you know, I'm a new patient of his considering I've only been with him for a few months now, but he's like, yeah, he's like, we can do that. So they actually called me when I was in the hospital, because that was right before everything kicked off with COVID. And they were like, hey, you know, we're looking to schedule your surgery. And I'm like, I'm actually in the hospital. Like, I'm gonna have to call you back. So nothing is scheduled right now, because obviously I'm trying to get myself better and well and healthy and back to 100% before we go into any kind of surgery or anything like that, obviously. But I have my next steps. I have what I'm planning to do, and I think, me being who I am a planner. I like to plan everything out to the T. It brings me comfort in knowing that I at least have a plan, because I feel like when I don't have a plan is when my mind kind of spirals and it starts thinking of things that it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and I'm hanging in there. I'm doing okay. I can breathe. I have a beating heart in my chest that's working. I'm not going anywhere, but it has been crazy. It has been crazy. So I don't know when the next time I will be able to vlog will be. This is just simply an update for you guys, because I know it has been a while, and hopefully I can get back into vlogging soon, and we can get back to TTC life and just positivity from here on going out. But yeah, first and foremost, I gotta get myself better mentally, physically, gotta get everything back to 100. And then we will pursue some surgery to figure out why we can't have a baby. So yeah, that is all I wanted to share. That is what has been going on with me lately, why I haven't vlogged, why I haven't posted. Like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably already know most of everything that's already happened, because I do kind of keep Instagram a little bit more in the loop. It's just easier and it's quicker. I have to go edit all of this now, so Instagram is just right there. But anyway, I want to say thank you again for all of the love and the support and all of your kind words on Instagram and here on YouTube. It really means a lot to see all of your supportive comments and all your hearts and all your sending loves and hugs and best wishes, and it really helps, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. But that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys again so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.